speaking herself earlier on. I think people saw her, Makamona Susan Ajitaura, and she spoke for over 3 hours, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And her narrations have led to a lot of talk in the community around the issue of the girl child. But most importantly, people have raised calls. They've said, look, Mnangagwa must speak about this. And the other person who was accused is the Norton MP, Temba Mliswa. So because he was accused, we decided to bring him on. But we also needed to interface with the institution that Mr. Mnangagwa heads here, that is ZANU-PF. Why are they quiet? When a very serious topic of this nature, and these are serious allegations that have been raised. Why quiet? So here we are. It is 6:26 right now. We're privileged to have Mr. Tafadzwa Mugwadi with us. Mr. Mugwadi, thank you very much. Could I give you, sir, 3 minutes uninterrupted time? I think maybe let me make it 3 to 5 minutes uninterrupted time so no one should interrupt you. And just pour your heart out, sir, to us. Why are you yourself? Let's start with you as a person, and then ZANU-PF as well as an institution. Why are you quiet when allegations have been raised here against your leader? And very, very serious allegations that have got dates, that have got time. And we also have here other people who have come up, and they have come up to support Susan Mutami, who alleges that she was raped, sir.
All right, thank you very much, and good evening to everyone. Wow.
I'm going to ask you to speak up a little bit, sir. Maybe lift your voice a little bit on your microphone, sir.
Okay, can you hear me now?
You have actually gone west now.
Am I audible now?
You have literally gone west.
Am I audible?
Yeah, it's getting better. Please continue and increase the volume. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm saying, I really... I don't know where I should start from, because on the other hand, you say, I'm quiet about that issue. I have not been quiet. And I think the response that I gave, which I still stand by, is that, and I can read it for everyone here that can listen. I said some people have no structures in their political party. I said some people have no confidence even in the shadowless cabinet they had purportedly appointed at the instigation of one Stephen Chan. I said the same people or political organization and honjos working behind them around the clock to besmirch the name of the president, Comrade Mnangagwa, and our candidate for 2023. Those people working to do that have no constitution and a basis of existence. They don't even can have a policy direction. They cannot point to is that which makes them as a standing political organization to get the trust of the people. In the heat of those accusations, in the heat of people, reporters making lamentations, Twitter lamentations about that, to say, no, you guys, we need to be organized because ZANU-PF is a colossal revolutionary party. We cannot fight it without organization. What do those who are supposed to be taking responsibility and those who are supposed to be taking care of those critics from their supporters do? They hire a trans-regional self-confessed hooker in Susan.
Sorry, I think, you know what, when you're speaking, sir,
yes,
is it...
listen. You said I was quiet, and I'm telling you what I've said.
Yes, I was just saying your volume.
In the opposition, those in the opposition, what do? According to me, back then, exactly the day she was making those frivolous and baseless accusations, I said they hire a trans-regional hooker, a trans-regional halotrous woman to do a hatchet job for them, to besmirch and character assassinate the leaders in ZANU-PF. Me in particular. That remains baseless, and none of us must take cognizance of that. And I think I should feel pity for those who had planned that hatchet job, those who thought that it was going to bring a cyclones in Zimbabwe. Some even went about by nicknaming Susan Cyclone Susan. I just wonder if she's even that cyclonic in her chosen trade, which she self-confessed that she's a hooker. But anyway, all that I just want to say to the people of Zimbabwe, maybe just borrowing one or two from what Mliswa said, is that unopedzera miseve kuzvidhidhi, kupedzera nguva kumarara, vamwe vachiita basa. At this time when the world according to Zimbabwe, social media, especially Twitter warriors, most of them were not registered as voters. Most of them were not even in Zimbabwe. Most of them who arrogate them titles that they can't even afford to own in terms of their behavior. No, washasha dzakutaura takawana maprofesa akawanda munyaya dzerepu panguva iyoyo tikafana kuseka kwazvo. We laughed our lungs out because we know that this was a hatchet job done to try to character assassinate our candidate, to do by those doing the bidding for Mr. Chamisa in the opposition. Except just that I should also hurry about to say those accusations were also done to divert attention of a situation involving my counterpart in the opposition, who was also facing allegations of breaking families, wrecking families. I don't want to go into detail about that because the matters are in the courts, but I'm just happy the journalist who made that expose as committed to stand ready to defend allegations, and he faces evidence. I think the next weeks will also be very interesting. There was also a picture that you can also attend to, circulating, involving Mr. Chamisa and Susan Mutami. And I may just want to tell listeners here that at the same time, in some communications with some other people, who until the fullness of time will be able to bring here communications with them, also tells us and have given us evidence in the communication that she says that very day when she was pictured with Mr. Nelson Chamisa, he had just had tens of sexual intercourse with her. That's according to this lady, through these other people who have evidence of talking to him. I mean, of talking to her, this scandalous lady, Susan Mutami. But now you ask me whether Mr. Chamisa did that. I don't think he did that. You ask me whether President Idim Nangago could do that. I know him very well to be an upright man who cannot do that rubbish. You ask me whether even Musani ever slept with that person. I don't think he ever did, you know. But why am I saying this? It's because I don't, ordinarily I wouldn't be expected to comment positively about Chamisa anyway with regards to character assassinating. I should have been quickest to release that to say yes. But we are men who are responsible. And I know that he didn't do that. I know that just as much as I know that President Mnangagwa didn't do that. And I'm just probably so lucky, just like you and me and others, that we never got any photo opportunity with that lady. Otherwise, the little time she was here, if she had ever gotten an opportunity to visit my office or see me elsewhere, sometimes because I'm just going to catch one or two along the way. And I'm sure if we had managed to meet by accident, she could have even suggested, no, even Mugwadi anotaurisa kudayo achidefenda musangano wake akatondera. But why she didn't see that? Because I didn't picture naye. But she has also been saying, he was also saying, Chamisa had raped, what, all those things in that basement meeting that they are pictured together. So I'm just warning people who want to go to town with this scandalous lady with benzi arisekererwe mukasekerera benzi parwizi munoroona rosha sipo neko nezveriri kudya haro chimavhu muri kusekerera muchiti zvakadai muso muchazoona zvimwe zvinhu zvakubudiswa zvinotaurwa nemwana munonzwa kushokekana nazvo. In my last part, let me just say, Simba, you and me. Hello?
Yes, okay.
Yes, you and me, and those who are listening, and I'm sure they are listening very carefully, although it could not have been as important as I should say to you, Simba, I was reading just before you checked on me around this space. I was looking at a tweet that came from Susan, telling you were Simba Chikanza, I'm sending people to rape your father. That's Susan Mutami, and that lady is supposed to be a victim of rape according to others, isn't it? And I don't know why you have chosen to take those threats lightly. Because you don't know what she was thinking. You don't know what she has within her capacity as an Australian resident, we are told now. But I'm just saying that back then, I'm very happy for you that you also kept those things, just like as much as we saw them. Some of them we had kept because we knew. But let me just tell you, I don't know why you guys are not taking this issue seriously. We would want Susan's correct answer. Even in the first place. I'm sorry, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I think from a prima facie perspective, this lady might not be of sound mental capacity. And also, Mliswa mazita ministers asine nechekuita naTemba Mliswa, for example. Agumiri ipapo Temba unoti toda kuona kuti vana vacho ndivangu here. Iye haana kana chimwe chete chokutarisa. As if that is not enough. Mwana wacho wechitu wacho mutwini wacho haawanikwi, iye anoti ane matwins. Now, I don't know whether it is our journalism that has gone to the gutters or not. This is a very serious case of a disappearing child, supposedly. If that child was ever born, if that child was not born, that means this is a case of fraud. This lady is a fraudster. She's an extortionist and a con woman. But you get what I'm saying? Because supposedly they belong to a political party that does not support President Mnangagwa, and so they are ready to rejoice at any negative criticism, at anything that is thrown at the face of my president and your president and the president of the Republic of Zimbabwe and the president of ZANU-PF. Now, zvinokushaisa ichimiro izvozvo. Nyange vamuri kuda vacho kuti vazopinda nerimwe gore dei kuri kuti Mwari anovakomborera zvavo, but ndinoziva kuti zvikomborero zvacho hazvipo. Ene Mwari haadi izvozvo. Vakazviitirwa izvozvo mwoyo yenyu haifari. Asi zvenesuwo mwoyo yedu haitofari, just like zvona ndikutaura kuti mwana waitaura zvaitaura pamusoro paChamisa achiti wakazondidai. I'm a man besides being a politician. And I also come from a society that is groomed according to Ubuntu. Ndomutarisa Susan, ndomutaura zvaitarisa zvaitaura pana Mliswa paidi. Ungazoona iwe ugoti Chamisa wakarepa mwana weinvestment muyamwe. It can't be. But kune vanhu vakataurira izvozvo. Until zvazooneka kuti no, this lady is a scammer. And she is trying to scam popular politicians, as it were. She is targeting high-profile politicians. Kuti waite Susan, zvake. Mamwe mazita ari kutaura mwana uyu achitaura kuti ane vana nawo. You might be shocked to hear that she has never met some of those people otherwise. You get what I'm saying? Ndoda kukupai incident one ndachitaura kuti amusotora nyaya ya Mliswa very serious. Asi munhu ari muno muZimbabwe ari kutoshayiwa mwana wake kubva kuna Susan. That lady akataura mangwana kuti Simba Chikanza wakandirepa. Musi unoitaura kuti wakapiwa mari navamunangagwa nehurumende yavamunangagwa kuti umuite uite water down allegations. Handizivi kuti iwe wakapiwa mari kana mari yacho ungatondiudza kuti wakaipiwa ende wakaipiwa ndisina kuiona ndisina kupuwa sei. Handiti. But I'm saying this zvangu ndakafara because ndozoda unombopiwa mari. But you were poking holes and asking things. Unoziva Simba kuti on a good day I wouldn't talk to you. The last time you tried to talk to me, I rebuked you. And I'm sure you can produce those WhatsApp messages when you had purportedly undermined a person whose name I'm not going to say about, because you and me considered that water under the bridge because we're not talking terms. But you had undermined a senior leader. And in the when people talk to you, we talked. But you all wakapiwa mari. Nemusangano we-ZANU-PF kana nehurumende kana nani handizivi. Iwewe, according to Susan Mutami, you are a conman, you are a fraudster, you are an extortionist. Your journalism is not real journalism. Unenge wapiwa mari. That's according to Susan Mutami. Kuti wakasangana naye kupi Susan Mutami kwa vanhu vamakatomboona nafashari zvokuzoziva kuti iwewe unopiwa mari kana kuti watopiwa mari so. Hazviziva. But you are one of our sworn critics and I disdain you. I just came to this space for the discussion we had and the manner we discussed about what you had done, which I know I didn't like very strongly. But nasi tikutaura, asi tikutaura nembavha according to Susan Mutami. You have not addressed that. Kuti wewe kunzuri mbavha. Kwete wewe chewega, anoti Temba Mliswa apiwa mari na vamunangagwa ne-ZANU-PF kuti aite Twitter space newe achiva depend. But iwo zvese zvinotoziva kuti inhema. Ende inhema dzese dzarikutaura deva munangagwa vaine mari iyoyo yokupa vanhu vose. Isu madirector avengadai tisati takufamba nezvindege here. But this is a scandalous woman who will wake up tomorrow to tell you the spokesperson from that part was raped by that other one, and that other same person also once raped me. Akatondirepa pa picture obva akubudisira picture iya. Munozviramba sei? Aiwa tinoziva kuti munozozviramba. Because mune muchiti nekuti pa Twitter ndiyo mune muchiti ndiyo wedu muchita inizopera pa Twitter izvozvo. But all that I'm just telling you ndezvekuti uyu ndiye munhu anonzi asina kana nyaya ende hazvina kana musoro zvanazvitadze vanhu kudya sadza kana kuti munhu anotopenga, and those who are thinking that they are getting any favors from what she's doing or who thinks that what she's doing is part of their political strategy ahead of 2023. Murupedza nguva because by the time you realize kuti zvamuri kuita muri kuzvipedzera nguva and that it never benefited you a single vote, it will be too late for you to recover and try another strategy. So without wasting people's time zvayo Simba, zviriko zvinhu zvatinomisira tsinga tichiti rega tipindure. Koita zvimwe zvokuti unonyatsoona kuti uku ndounonzi kutungana kwembudzi chaiko chaiko. Nyika yese ino ine makuriro atakaita maprofesa, madokta, malecturer, machii, majournalists, kutemesa musoro nepfambi. Handisi kutuka munhu kana achiti pfambi. Inini inoziva by the way, handina ino kuti munhu mawindi munooma kuti mawindi wani. Pfambi ndo dzamusingadi kuti pfambi idzo dzichitozvipa mazita ekuti pfambi. Handisini ndakanyora pa Twitter yake kuti ndinotsvaka mari nemakumbo angu nemaoko angu. Ndiye akanyora zvaachiti varume vavanhu ndinotora kana musingadi kuti nditore nyora pauma pavo. Ndinongokutarisei kuti kana unozoti iwewe Simba kanyange ukada kuti kwai unomusaidira. Inini mukazi wangu ndikatoti panapa handizivi kuti, but hakuna no sane woman can stop. It's a degradation of women zvaanenge achitaura musikana wewe. Saka I don't think kuti zvinhu zvinoningikira zvinotoda zviri kuti tive nenguva. Apa ndakotowana zvangu bosi. Ndinomboenda kumadoro ndimbonomwa nhasi kusvika kuFriday. Kawaningikiri kacho kavhika kacho kakatanga very much badly with a lot of pressure, you know. Takuita makongress emaveterans. But chenjerera vanhu vakadai. Don't be given agenda nevana vakadai. Ende dei kuri kuti ari kutaura nyaya yerepu simba yekuti kwai ndakazonzwai. Nyaya yake iyo ine chiine kuti kwai chienda yamunovhota. Inde yamunovhota makadai. Munhu wacho ari kutonzi iwe inde unovhoterwa zvakadaiwo. I thought kuti Chamisa anofana kutsamwa kwete kufarira kunzi kwaizi ndiri kumobilizirwa vanhu naMutami kana ndiwo simba ndakubvunzewo simba. Wongu politics zvede hatishare kuti vanhu vanondimobilizira mavhotsi ndivanani kana vanhu vanondivhotera ndivanani. But pane dzimwe types dzekuti chero ukazwa kuti dziri kuita root for you, those types, you know, this kind of a character is more. Hazvinombosiyana nekuti masendeke ari kuti kwai masendeke ede kuri kuti mupenyu kana chitumo. Stephen chitumo wembavha dziya dzaiuraya vanhu dzea. Yo buda paTV chiti ndiri kuvhotera ZANU-PF. Aiwa tinomutaura kuti someone hatisi kuda vhoti yako, we don't want to be associated with a character like you. You get what I'm saying? I thought as much to you to see them, these CCC factions, probably taking a stand with, no, this kind of thing, this type of votes I eat. Well, apart from mobilizer, instead you could see, a lot of women are affected negatively by that attitude. No, Zaka Kwane, Zuno Sore Savanukazi, Zuno Tuki Saruzio Vanukazi, Zuno Sodesa even Babereka Vanukazi, whenever I'm Zimbo. Zokuti dzingokura ukatarisa kazi mwana kakuka musikana kachitamba panze apo chiti baba hii mwanangu ndakwenda kubasa ukatarire kamwana kari grade 2 kafunga kuti mwana uyu ndikatoita zvekutamba kanoita kamutami kaka. You get what I'm saying? Azvinyatsobuda zvakanaka. Ukafamba uchinda muavenues muchidrive mota dzako uchinda kuma senendombomwera unana kebabu iko nopakavharwa ndande uchinda Newlands kubolero uchienda kunomwa kwako wopfuura nekuko kune vasikana vaya vanobvisa hembe usiku vachidi. What are unozati kuno mamwe masecos vasikana havo vanoita I don't know, this was I call them mama professional prostitutes or what sex workers, I don't know one. But kune kana tichimwa doro zvakutonzi zvimutami. The name, and I think even the family kuno vamwe vanhu vachatochinja masename kuti we don't want to be associated with this surname and all that it comes because of this stupid child of poor upbringing. Who thinks she should make money out of meeting Warume or scandalizing the names of others? Now strategy again ndekuti anoziva kuti kumadokero ava havafarire ZANU-PF navamunangagwa. Saka zvinova kumadokero zvavasina confidence neopposition sezvamakanzwa vachitaura naStephen Chani wanga atumwa neshoko ranga atumwa kwavari navarungu. Voti atoti iye unofunga kuti mari dzinoenda kumadhona uku dzakuchiiswa kudira Susan manje. Oh, donor money mean Dear Cyclone Susan, she's bringing the hurricanes that will President Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF through character assassination. As Shandi, and I don't even think that the donors will be such stupid so as to direct to sponsor publicity stands and PR. What do you call character assassination? Actually, jobs like that for purposes of benefiting the opposition. This is Africa, my friend. We don't do that. As Shandi. So all in all, those and don't go to Rozangu Simba. Vanhu vambowana time zvavo tikaona mabasa totsvaga mabasa tichididi konopfumvudza kuuya apa toita tichididi tichitopiwa mbeu napresident mafava presidential scheme ako atorima todi vanoenda kuno vamwe vari busy kumaina umo motopedzisira takutukawana sikotiswa kuponya kuti waita mari dzakawanda nemaminerals asi isu tichifera tiri pasocial media tichitukaniswa naMutami. Munhu unosvika kana munhu achisvika pakuzviposta asina hembe achipurisa mavhidhiyo achitamba asina hembe moti kukwana here. Ndoda kuudzai hangu tichipedzisira nenyaya yaakaita kuna vamusani Kenneth Musani, which you want to know maybe Simba. I don't know whether I still have to. Yes, I think it'll be good to hear what you know. Thank you. You know, when she last year when she released in fact I said I don't release those pictures. I want to bring people to the attention. I need to be very honest with you. Yes, I'm a spin doctor in other respects as I do my job. But honestly, okay to listen and are prepared to hear the truth. Be warned of this lady called Mutami and tell your politicians and senior leaders as well, even as she root for them. But votera Chamisa, votera Shakadeo, Varuda Zura, Wende Varuda Zura, Chamisa, Varuda, do all those kind of things. I'm just telling you guys, be careful. This is what this lady did when she came here. She's end up now. I'm sorry. She came. I just want to explain to you how she presented herself as a corny woman. She got I told her my photo as soon as my container in the masses. You know that what I do, some of them in politics don't have time really to do cross-checking on Google to see whether this is an authentic photo or what. Zvamunomboita zviya kuti vana Fadzai vakaposta kana kuti vana Hopuwe vakaposta zvimavhidhio vachiti kwai uyo munhu wemuZimbabwe azvarira munzira achienda kuchipatara azobatsirwa kuonekwa kunzi aiwa ndokugana uko incident yakaitika kugana 2016 Hopuwe uri kunyepa. Some of our leaders have no time for that because of their busy schedules. Susan, why do Google photos achitumira vanhu and ainyanya kutageta ma-MPs ZANU-PF, those that she thought or was aware that they have got their own money outside of their political salary, their salaries as politicians, as members of parliament, as it were. They are also business people in their own right, and they also make their own big money outside there in the industry. No, I check. To the extent you could ukadozvitsvaka kuti dai zvanga zviri zvema-donations. Sorry, the flu. Zvamuri mozoti wine, flu. Why Tora say why is over and Zunu? Tarira type my MPs I nangana now for donations. Hapana kana chakapawo kuna vachinotimba chokubhuira. Kana kuna anyone my MP ari kunzvimbo dzakasara kuna na gokwe kana kunonzi gokwe uko kuzasu kumunyu. Kana kunzvimbo dzakaita sana Bhinga uko anga asina inako. Why da ngekiri? Tarira the choice is yours. Tarisa my MP I target. Anenge achiziva network yewanhawa nemazvoonoita chichioza kuti anenge aine mari. Saka waitora maphotos ezvinhu zviri mumacontainers. Zvimwe zvacho zvinenge zvisingatomboendi kana kuZimbabwe kana kupi. Kungotora ototi kwai ndaloda shipiro iro riri kutouya kuZimbabwe izvizvi rakazara about hundreds of thousands. Hanzi goods for donation charity work worth over $500,000. Ndiyo. Icontainer riri kunzi rakazara. Mamwe acho ane achinzi ane mafiriji, ane mastovhu, magasi stovhu, wati ma-TV, maredhiyo. Zvakangosangana unongoziva zvinhu zvinenge zvinzi ndezvecharity. Haungazoti ndiri kuita charity yemachira chete. Zvinongosangana zvikandaloda zvese, it's goods worth over 300,000, which I mobilized from Australians. Ndiri kuuya kudonata kuZimbabwe. But ndiri kuda kudonata kuconstituents kwenyu imimi. Ndakambopa zvimwe kunana wati saka inini handidi kutamba neopposition, ndiri kuuya kudonata kwamuri vamusane, handidi kupa vanhu vemuHarare because vanovhotera opposition. That's Susan. Unotora zvinhu zviya izvi otumira ma-MPI. These MPs oti donations okay iko kari kuno zvanzi zvinhu zvangu zvakutoya zvatolodwa zvadi. That's what she did kuna Kenneth Musani, Comrade Musani. Akaenda uko zvikanzi inini ndiri kuunza zvinhu izvi constituency kwenyu kupindura. Saka nokudaro, and he knows kuti Musani, handiti unoziva kuti Musani ndiye ane AFM Africa, anoita zvemabhazi akachiti, he has got money, he has got private jets here dzinofly muno. Saka ndoda kudonata zvinhu izvi kwamuri, but ndoda kuzvisa constituency kwenyu zvese zvinosanganisira machines emuzvipatara chichi. Allow me to just throw it because zvayo zvitori fun unoziva simba. Amusani wakati sure zikazi ndiri kutoita ma-donations handiti zvinhu zvatova mushipi zviri kudii chichichi ikore gare zvaapa Durban zvadza gare zvaakusvika kuBeit Bridge zvabatwa zvanzi zviri kuda juti. That's here kuna Musani zvanzi zviri kuda juti. So these are goods worth over $300,000 and so forth and so on. Goods right juti racho wazongoti tiite flat figure 14,000. That's what happened. Saka ndipei 14,000 ndinobhadhara juti ndino clear because zviri mustamangu zvinouya kwandiri. Ndipei 14,000 ndino clear. Ndono clear.
zvozotaura kuti zichitanga kufamba because nematracks acho zvese ndakade but ndapererwa neduty. That's Susan. I'm saying these things because some of these politicians have no time to respond to that rubbish. But some of us have got a dedicated time, but but you will fall in the same trap, and some of them fell in the same trap. Apeza abapua 14,000 yachitwa ndikuno clear sono kujuti kukuna. Ndobvaenda 5 days anotso. Arudya mari. Agodzoka Susan. Zikanzwa musani zvinhu zvakadii zvakasvika zviri pabhaki storage apo. You can see kuti imagine kana ndifunga ndokuita makeup handina company andinorana neta zvinhu zvewarehouse ngarodi I don't even bother about those things. But iye wakati kwanze pabhaki storage iri kuHarare South koko kachikudhuza nekunana South Park somewhere there. Kwaboka after kwaboka. Zvikazaiswa kuwarehouse zvinhu zvacho zvatadza kukwana saka zvinhu zvakasvika nezo ndakazoenda kurufu kwakati ndakazodii saka ndiro anobhadhara kurudiwa 5,000 more zvekuti ndino clear zvinhu storage pabhaki pazvakasvikira kuti zvinhu zvichidii ndichitoorganize marori anotakura zvinhu because zvimwe zvacho zvaitira kuti zvingazokanganisika neweather what zvikarara pansi saka zvazviri muwarehouse macontainers vamusani vakati because vanga suspicious for these 5 days that she disappeared and ndobva vati okay iwe uchizodzoka utore 5,000 iyi kumazuva rodoka ndakutuma vakomana vangu kuti vanotanga vacheka because inini zvinhu zvako handichazvinzwisisi urunzwa simba vamusani vakatuma zveshwa maezi avo kubhaki storage handiti right next day handiti unoona vakomana bhozezi zvakatika around this vakomana vanenge vakaona kubhaki storage kwavharwa handiti kunovharwa here chichi but vamusani had already become suspicious was munhu anga disappear in 5 days but ainzi aionekwa chichi kumadhirika meno you get what I'm saying. I don't want to go into details of people who are not relevant to the issue. Ndobva vazoti mangwana vatuma vakomana vavo makuseni kuti mukirai makuseni munocheka kunhu kuya kuti zveshuwa kune madonations akadai here and unoziva kuti semapoliticians munana itofunga kuti ndikanodonetawo zvinhu ndadoneta mastove muconstituency magasi stove ndichibatsira vanhu vangu someday unoziva kuti munhu anenge ari effervescent about it kuti no ndiri kutosumudzirawo nzvimbo izvo havazozova kuti vanodhira nekambavha zvako kakatorungira vanhu tende and havasovoga vamusana vairohwa panguva izvozvo same nana political mbamura vairohwa nenyaya yekuzi tine madonations ese iwo mapicture aisendera vanhu vakawanda vamwe maMP vakatoenda kunodedzera mumushango kuti tiri kuya nemadonations atirikana kuti takaona dona and I will tell you kuti there is also one of the MPs and I told her ndakaona dona that MP ndi ndakamusave. I don't want to say his name but ndakamusave ene ndo kwangu kuManicaland ndakamusave ndamuti iwe uri kutaura nemunhu akadai zvakati taura navamusana yavo bvunza vamusana yavo zvakuti achitoti but yanga atoziva bozi yanga asina mari saka anga atopinzwa muprocess yekunzi paridiwa 8,000 saka yanga akutoita chikwinikiro chekunoti family yoga irida kubenefita kumadonations aya inobhadhara $dollar pamwana wese ane 18 years and above. Urunzwa simba zvokuti that MP and every time panomuona ari parliament ogara achinditi you saved me by otherwise ndingada ndakadzingirwa nevanhu neshamu vachiti zvinhu zvedu zviri kupa. This lady anozomukira kumba kwamusani makuseni amukira kumba kwamusani makuseni anowana vamusani vachipfeka ezinto vachigadzisa tai vachipfeka tai papa makuseni and I'm being honest from what happened. Anosvika papa pana vamusani obva ati chihanzi ane musikana wake sorry for that disturbing call. Ane musikana waifamba naye waimutora maphotos anonzi Elina something or Laina Meno something like that. Musikana waifamba naye ndio wakapinda naye mna vamusani kwakunoti yesterday mazodi avari kupfeka vari kugasa tai and if you look at that face Comrade Musani was not even smiling. He was bitter about things but he thought that maybe there was more good news. So we have behind us, but your tie is nice. You want to let me help you pin the button the power or you get what I'm saying? So and that lady is taking the photos and but I was not the other lady who took my photos. Then unobvaenda paanozwa namusani kuti vakomana vangu vakuona kubhaki kwavhara nezuva mukira makuseni kuenda kubhaki. I will only give you that 5,000 kana vandudzwa kuti zvinhu zviriko. Asi kana ndakupa 5,000 iwewe chirega kunotora zvinhu kubhakiwo kana zvinhu zvako marori, don't worry, marori ndinawo notakura ndeka. Zvikanzi all right. Ndobva abuda aenda haana kuzogarisa kuti ndafonerwa nanenda kumhanya chi, just call me kana vadzoka chindoenda collect the money or can put into this account. Ndodi wasirwa account wakasirwa in account number yacho anayo andizvi vasirwa account number yava ndobva wabuda vana kuti vanhu vari kubhaki vaenda kubhaki vakadzoka tiri panapa zvinodhakwa vamusani manje vauzwa kuti bhaki storage kuti hatina zvakadaro atombozivane nemunhu akadaro hakuna zvinhu zvakadaro zvakambouya panapa atidi. He then called her kuti bring back my money. That's what he said, bring back my money or I'll get you arrested right away. You are a con woman, you are a fraudist. Ndiri kuda mari yangu. Ndobva ati okay. That's what she said over the phone. Ndakati okay. Ndobva asi angosenda ndikekera kuti I'm sending forward, I'm to follow up on WhatsApp. Now yanzi bring back my money. Kana
I think we lost you there. We lost you. You got muted after bring back my money. Is Mugwadi still here?
Simba, I'm thinking maybe network. I thought it was.
Yeah, because I last heard him when he said, bring back my money. That Musani then demanded, yeah, I think he's connecting. It's an internet problem, yeah. Yeah, it's an internet problem.
Simba, hatina zvakawanda isu.
Aiwa, rega Mugwadi vataureka kuti vari kumirira ofisi yavo. Regai vataure. Imimi chimbomirai vachigara. Vatange vapedza nyaya yavo and then itozokwanisa kuvabvunzurusa.
Aiwa, hapanaka togara titori pano ngaaite izvozvo.
Nokuti ivo vakataura vakaburitsa zvavari kutaura izvozvozvo and then imi munenge mane zvakawanda zvokuti muvabvunze. I hope you understand.
Yeah, no, I do understand. Sitari kufela kuconnecta tine zvimwe zvatingeda kuti titaure arikutaura zvakawanda munhu akunzwa like issue yake ndeyekuti ari kutanisha munhu ari already tarnished Susan. Nyaya iripo isusu yatinoda kunzwa ndeyekuti yakanzi naSusan mukuru akati atasa chimusoro chete akataka true ndiyo atoti adefend zvozo Susan anota zvakati nakanhika akazda so haizvo zviri known as public consumption. Andiri kuona Simba.
Right, where is he? Is he cut off? How can we bring him back?
I tried to invite him to speak, but I think maybe he might be having some connectivity. So I'm hoping he can join us. Oh, I see him. Mr. Mugwadi. Where is he?
Yes, he's back now, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we're back, yeah. Right, okay, please let's all mute so that we can hear Mugwadi speaking. Let's all mute, please. Right, Mugwadi, takupa mic.
Simba, vachiri mu listening section.
Varu listening, yeah, please accept Mugwadi. Oh, what's going on now?
I'm inviting him to speak, but yeah, for me it's not working. I don't know. Could I
request somebody? Right. Okay. Is he connected now?
Let me see. I'm trying to invite him to speak, but it seems like that function of mine is not working. I don't know if you can try. Mr. Mugwadi, if you can hear us, could you please request to speak? Tiku Zozere back on stage. Thank you.
Yeah, we're struggling.
I think he's going to relog back in, Simba. Yeah.
Oh, he's relogging.
Yes, he dropped. Yeah.
He's totally disappeared now, yeah.
I hope you can come back here,
right.
because
so yes, witnesses. Yeah, so what's happening right now, we're listening to the ZANU-PF director, Tafadzwa Mugwadi, here responding to my main question here tonight. Our question on this program is, why is ZANU-PF quiet over Susan Mutami's allegations? Why on earth are they quiet? Why quiet when there are these very serious allegations here, which are of a legal nature as well? Where is he? Hopefully he comes in. And earlier on, he was now talking about. Okay, let me just bring him back. Okay. Yeah, he was accusing Susan Mutami of being a thief. Someone, he says, duped a lot of MPs using fake pictures. I have requested that Mr. Msani comes up as well to back up these allegations, maybe to show us these messages which Susan Mutami is being accused of sending and requesting money, requesting 14,000. And I think one of my other questions tonight will also be, was the police report made? I'm hoping that we can get answers to that. Was a police report eventually made by the MP, Honorable Kenneth Musani? Where is he? He's not here at all. He's not here at all. Do you think if I call him directly, that would be better? Okay, he's back now.
He's back.
Okay, he's back now. I think he's back now. Please connect somebody. You're not requesting. You need to request to speak. Oh well. So what I'll do, folks, maybe I need to drop some people here. Let's drop Chaminuka Shimurenga, just in case maybe there's some tech issues here, so that we can just have Mugwadi as the speaker. Only as the speaker. Let me just drop other people here so that we can just have Mugwadi as the speaker only. Okay. Mugwadi, come through, please. You'll be the only speaker. Oh. Are you requesting to speak? Because I'm Sutombo requester.
I'm also inviting him to speak, but it's not even working on my end. I think maybe you might be the only one who's able to. Mr. Mugwadi, I guess he cannot respond. Maybe you try to call him Simba directly.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Stress, so I'll just see if I can call him now.
Simba, while you're making that call, I want to say, yeah, first of all, sorry, I was a little bit late. I had other meetings going on, but thanks for hosting this space. I think it's a bit triggering for me as a survivor that there's a somewhat of an interrogation of Susan's character. In my work, I guess under normal circumstances, when a victim survivor comes forward, we believe them, we don't question them. Their character has nothing to do with the allegation. So I just want to lead with that, and that's how I'm holding myself in this space. As triggered as I am, I'm taking notes, but I'm also, I think it's also a good process to go through as a nation. So maybe we can actually see how we might be able to change some policies in how we treat our girl child. Maybe we might be able to change some policies in how we treat you know.
I've just noticed that his phone, even when I'm calling via WhatsApp, it's giving us a signal that he's in a place where the network doesn't allow him.
Okay.
I just noticed while I was calling, so I think this is entirely a network issue. So let me try with let me see if I can call him directly.
Okay, Simba.
I think that would be super. If we can get him directly, then we should have
okay. And maybe if you cannot hear me, then maybe let me reserve my comments for now, so that I could say that to him while he hears it.
That destination. Your account balance is insufficient to play.
Let me see. I apologize. I think my app is playing up. It's giving me an error. Try with this one here. Right. Is he here now?
Yep, he's still in the listener session, Simba.
Right.
Thank you guys. For those who are tuning in right now, thanks for being in this space. We are trying to reconnect back with Mr. Tafadzwa Mugwadi. He was here kind of explaining to us, representing the office of the president, and I think the last engagement we had with him, he was explaining a lot of details about Susan Mutami, the alleged victim of child sexual abuse by the president of Zimbabwe, Comrade Emerson Mnangagwa. Mr. Mugwadi has dropped. It looks like he was in transit, so we're trying to get him on. We could have had other speakers, but I think for us it's really important to hold space where he can speak on behalf of. I was telling Simba earlier on, if something like this were to happen in any other place that I'm familiar with, we would actually request the president himself to do a press conference and address this matter to us as citizens. At least we would think that he owes us that. We want to hear his, a press conference. But I guess Mr. Mugwadi is doing that on behalf of the office of the president. So if you're just tuning in with us, be patient. We are hoping to get Mr. Mugwadi back on so that he can complete sharing with us on behalf of the office of the president. And then we can have citizens ask questions. Again, thanks for being here.
Yeah, the network is really bad. Let's hope he comes back.
Simba, what do you think the way moving forward, so we can be respectful of everyone's time, should we try to invite back the speakers that wanted to speak and hear their side until he makes it back? Or if not, what do you think?
I'm good. Tongori pa live mochingo tongopedza muri pa phone ka. Okay, why don't you park somewhere tiba tangopedza? But where you are, find somewhere to stop. Tiba tangopedza. Tongorova 10 minutes so tangozata pedza. Yeah. Chamisa, you're back now? Okay, right. So you were speaking on the MP, the Bindura MP Kenneth Musani, who you said that he was duped 14,000. You alleged that Susan Mutami duped him 14,000 over customs duty. And you said that he was now demanding his money back and was now demanding to go to the police station. What was a police report made? Okay, so a police report was made against Susan Mutami, but the report was not pursued. You mean charges were not pursued? Go ahead, please. Right. Whatever you've done just now, please stay put. Whatever you've done, because it's helped to boost your sound. So now we can hear you clearer. So please don't change anything on your device. What you've done just now, it's helping us in a big way, so we can hear you better. So you said that a police report was made, but then charges were not pursued, right? Am I right? Okay. Yeah, so go ahead, please. You were talking about frauds. You were accusing Susan Mutami. Yes, sir.
I'm saying that's what women do.
So someone would say you're being. Someone would say, aren't you being insensitive? Because a person who has been raped usually behaves like this. People who have been raped. Simba. Yes, sir. Yeah, well, Vakawanda, yeah.
They shift from their scandalized reporting. It's better for them. Otherwise, we will expose them. Otherwise, you are duties where I don't know how to go into details. But when I look at this,
yes, sir.
When I see stories of challenges, what's the gentleman, respect from industry.
I think we've lost you again. I think we've lost him again. Okay. Yes.
Do you think we need to hear more? I think we've heard a lot more. For me personally,
I know, but the thing is, it's his response, and yeah, I'm thinking, and I know it might be too much. But the thing is, whatever he is saying, okay, yes, yes, Mugwadi, I have.
And actually,
Can we get the police report? Where is the police report, or at least the number? Yeah, I'm saying the police number, the police reference.
You know, choose what it's in there. And listen, I'm sure today I'm here in my capacity as director of information. In order to my own capacity, because I know what this is open. Now I'm saying, it is not ethical for me to be distributing my leader. You know what I'm saying? This my leader is a political member, just like I have no breath to give you his number. But I want
police reference. Police reference.
Listen, don't worry. Not police reference. I'm just saying check with me at 11 a.m. tomorrow. I will speak to him. I will request with him the permission to do that. If he then gives on, no problem. But there is, we have nothing to hide. Because it's also a way that this is doing for us.
Mama, are you dead, son?
Scared.
Yes.
The line is breaking again. Let me see if I can call him again. Is he coming in?
I'm not seeing him, Simba. No.
Right. So we don't have the police report. He says we can get it tomorrow. Right. What else? What other question can I give him when he picks up? Because I think the line it keeps breaking. What other question? What do you propose, Comfort?
Yes. And I'm not sure if this was asked before. In in places where, where governance works well, when a man of the caliber of a president is accused of such a heinous crime, such a despicable crime, normally we request as citizens, as his bosses, because he's working for us under normal circumstances, he needs to have a press conference. So my question to Mr. Mugwadi is the president ever going to do any press conference, or is he going to remain quiet and send people to defend his case? That's the first one. The second one, he asked a question to us, I would expect him to know that number as the director of communications.
Right, he said Vana?
Vana Vangani,
right, okay, yeah, because he said he's got stats of, he seemed to suggest that he's got stats of people who get raped. So I want to know how many kids get raped.
How many kids get raped? And then that is even a which is never cults. And actually, Batana and it no now wakuru venyika vachienda kumakhautsi iwayo saka hatingazivi nhamba yevana vari kubatwa chibharo muZimbabwe. Noruzivawo he needs to tell us. And then my third question to him is, he seems to insinuate that every victim survivor of sexual abuse as a child should have the same response. That is not the matter. Does he have a standard of how they should respond? If he's comparing Susan's current behavior, to how other people who've been victimized respond. So those are my questions to him, Simba. Hopefully he answers. If not, hopefully we have him back on here, because I have 3 pages of questions for him based on what he was saying. Thank you.
Simba, my question to Mugwadi is, power per platform atumana Ramsani here kuti azotaura nezvaSusan zvaataura izvi, because Ramsani zvaotina zvakawanda tinozitaura pano and tinovaziva, saka vari kuda here kuti tiite zvavatuma Mugwadi ngaakonfirme kuti Ramsani ndivo vamutuma, toziva kuti Ramsani vari mugemu, varatemba Mliswa. Ndo bvunzo wangu kune mukomana Pastor aina.
Simba, if we are dealing with an organization, have they done a due diligence and internal investigation to prove that? Because we can't have just a word of mouth as saying, no, so and so did not rape so and so. Have they done their own internal investigation as a political party to protect themselves? If these things later on prove to be true, are they going to stand out and say, yes, we did our own investigation that exonerated ED, to have said, yes, after we've done that, we saw that he didn't commit this crime that he's being accused of, or it's just word of mouth in just being told, go and tell them that if they done their due diligence as a political party, because at the end of the day, this thing is going to come back and bite them if they haven't done their own due diligence. And it's very vague of him to having to come to a platform without just carrying my statements that they hear or propaganda that they hear without due diligence, especially if he's the vice spokesperson, because his word carries more weight than any other person who can come here and just smart sling and say whatever they want to say. So I feel he needs to confirm that them themselves as ZANU-PF, they are sure, they are clear, because Susan has made a report. So it means on Susan's side, she's alleging and she's confident, she knows this thing was done to her. That's why she has opened, or she has filed a police report against Nangago. Can they also do the same in Zimbabwe? File a report of defamation if Susan is lying, if they are very sure that she's lying, and it's out of beyond reasonable doubt that this man didn't do this what they purport. Have they done that? Maybe if you can ask something like that. Thank you.
Sorry, Simba, if I may.
Go ahead, Susan.
Thank you so much, Comfort. Right, I do hope that in the time that we're going to be here, we're going to be able to dispel all the propaganda, the ZANU-PF propaganda that has been spewed here on this platform today at the current time, and even before the space ends, because I'm sure when ZANU-PF comes on the platform, as always, it is propaganda that is being spewed and nothing more. When it comes to the issue of rape, it is a very, sorry, Simba, your mic is unmuted. Thank you so much. When it comes to rape, this is a serious, very serious accusation, allegation, very, very serious. And one has to ask yourself, what does ZANU-PF mean, or what do they define as rape? That is the first question we need to ask ourselves as citizens, because Ndanzwa comfort achiti panzi vana vangani kuwadore. But you know what I mean? And so, as if we don't know, Kuti, we have a white garment church that marries children. And we've never heard ZANU-PF mention anything about it. There've never been any statements whatsoever to stop those child marriages that continually take place in Zimbabwe. Rather, we see them wearing the same white garments and going to those churches, right, and getting photos as if it's like a campaign mechanism that they have actually said to themselves, this is what we'll do, we'll work together. So we have to ask ourselves, when it comes to rape, what does ZANU-PF literally define as rape? We can obviously understand that it does not mean children to them who get married or are slept with are raped. To them, they don't see it as rape. They see it as intercourse. They see it as the child wanted it. They see it as there was no force whatsoever. And therefore, in their eyes, it's not a punishable offense. And that is the first thing that we have to deal with as citizens. And the moment we've noticed that, it is up to us, the citizenry, to continually raise awareness to these issues, these very important issues, because that can happen to any one of us. It has happened to many, and it continues to do so, and it will continue if we don't take a stand right now, irrespective of what Tafadzwa Mugwadi might say here or any other ZANU-PF supporter will come and say here. The point is, if citizens say enough is enough, that is what matters. We drive the movement, we drive the way the narrative will be, and we drive their responses. So at times when you see ZANU-PF quiet, we have to ask ourselves, have we done all that we can as citizenry? Remember, it's not just the job of the victims or slash survivors. They've done their part because they came out. And as soon as they came out with this information, what happened? You find that ZANU-PF and their supporters are mudslinging like no man's business. 24/7, they're here on social media platforms trying to portray an image of the victims slash survivors being the guilty parties. They try to come to us and they say that, look at their characters. Look at the things that they say. They lie, they do this. Does that mean that no one can get raped? I mean, surely even a devil can get raped. You do not, your character is not what means that someone, that is not the qualification stance for which people get raped. So we need to come away from that and really dispel those type of propaganda statements where we're finding even some women who support ZANU-PF walk out openly, say that, oh, this woman, the way she's behaved, oh, she probably deserved it. You know, that language is dangerous. It's so dangerous in so many ways. And others are even parents with children, and you ask yourself, how can you support such? And I'll go to another point. A sitting president who is accused of something as rape, God, let's just go to America. What happened when one sitting president, literally, it was found that he had an affair with his secretary, his personal assistant? What happened there? Did he last long as a president? What happened there? Did people not start asking questions? So it's not a new thing whereby allegations like this, when they come forward, we expect to see certain things. Don't we have a VP in ZANU-PF? Let's not make this political, right? Within ZANU-PF, we go there, right? We heard of the former VP, who is now the VP of ZANU, Mohadi. A picture of him circulated with a schoolgirl. What happened? He was no longer the vice president of Zimbabwe. He became the VP of ZANU-PF. That is what happened. So why is Mnangagwa any different? Why is he quiet? That's a big question. He's quiet, but he has released his hyenas to come around on these Twitter spaces to be mudslinging victims/survivors who've encountered these things. And the question I'll still pose is that, why is he still the president of Zimbabwe? Don't they have a VP within their own party? Isn't there someone who's supposed to represent the nation whilst this issue is being addressed? Surely, let's go through due diligence. Let's go through the process. We're not going to mudsling, Susan, we're not going to say that, but let's go through the courts. Let's go through the system. Let the process play itself out. And then later we can start to say, okay, this is what happened. Oh, this is what we saw. But right now, honestly, truthfully, ladies and gentlemen, we need to send a strong message to say that rape of any shape or form by anyone, especially those in high positions, officials, will not be tolerated in our time. Because this can truly happen to everybody, and it continues to do so. So the main thing I will end by saying is that we have a lot to do. We have a lot of dispelling to do. And every time you hear ZANU-PF people speaking and trying to justify such things, such matters, question yourselves. Ask yourselves, Kuti, teacher could defend. Because truthfully speaking, even in I know those who defend something. A lot of the time, they are actually doing the same thing in the background. And what they don't want is a situation where when one person is revealed to the world, the others will also be revealed. So this is a case which really, really we need to support and we need to look more into, because I believe that there are more names that are going to come out if we only allow citizens, those victims/survivors, to speak out freely without their names being tarnished. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Right. Mr. Mugwadi looks like it's difficult to get now. I was hoping that he finishes. And I know there are many people who are typing in there. They're saying, look, Simba, you should do this. You should hear me. We invited him to come and speak, and it's not easy to get people like him. I'm sure you can see the position now. So I don't bring him here and then raise my voice against him. We have to let him talk, because this is what these spaces are about. They're about engagement. And prepare your facts, prepare your points, and then shoot, and then use the opportunity to shoot. So that's what we're doing here. And there's a lady, I think, who was typing in the comments there. I've invited her to come and speak as well. I don't know if she's going to accept. Please, and talk. I will continue calling him. Let me call him on his phone directly so that he can finish. But Comfort, let's move to the next person. Are you there, Comfort? I don't know who is next. Right, okay. Go ahead, Emmanuel.
Simba. Sorry, na Mugwadi wacho. Kuti tibvunze kuti yes, Mutami. Saivo vakuru vari mugavhimende yeZimbabwe, chaiye ZANU-PF, vari kufungei nezvakaitwa nemukuru wavo wenyika? Havasi kunyarawo here kuti mukuru wenyika zvakaita zvazvinyadzisa here? Ndozvaida kubvunza kwavari izvozvo. But unfortunately, mukuti vabva havachabatiki. Asi I'm sure everyone wanted to ask the such persons.
Ndikuwadzosa.
Uda kutotaura navo.
Pana padare anokwanisa kudefenda futi papa.
Yeah, but
vari kudefenda vati kuzati varipo, but isusu sema-citizens eZimbabwe, not kuti se-political citizens, but citizens of Zimbabwe,
hatisi kufara nezvakaitwa nemukuru wenyika. Position yainayo nezvavari kuita, not only vamunangagwa, the rest of ZANU-PF, vana ma-top positions vari kuabuse vana vadiki vachishandisa mari, of which if you can look all those people vane zvirwere, vari kuzadza vana vazvirwere. We are not happy of that. We are not happy. Two, iye vana Mugwadi vanotaura nezvekuti anzi vachisapota vakuru vavo venyika, nekuti vakukwanisa kuendesa tatasa in terms of education. Vana vakukwanisa vari kudzidza kuna South Africa, vamwe vari kudzidza kuna London, but isu tine vana vari muZimbabwe, they are suffering because vana Mugwadi ivava vari kudya mari neZANU-PF vachisapota zvinhu zviri wrong. If they are wrong, they are wrong. Kana vatadza kutonga nyika, vamwe vatatu vari muita koniwa chinhu ichi, ipawo vamwe vanokwanisa kuzviita. Even young blood from ZANU-PF, otherwise they can rule better than old men. These old men, they are old. Vanorara mumaparliament, hapana chavari kuita muparliament. We are fed up of them. Aish. Ameno ngoba simba ndataura panokuda kwa patika Mugwadi wawe pa platform. Vatu kutaura now. Bozana chitano kuna kutaura straight.
Let's see what's going on here.
Yeah, Simba, I think for me, I've always said, it's very difficult when you come to a place where people have got a sound and voice of the God and say, we my citizens. It's actually fascinating how Zimbabweans start just going into this concept of just, we my citizens. Speak for yourself and how you feel about this situation. And that's how we can change things as we articulate it. See, if I have to ask Emmanuel right now, what advocacy have you actually done for Susan? Absolutely nothing. You just spoke about your own feelings on the disgruntlement and the hate you have for ZANU-PF. And that's a shame, really. Because if you are going to speak for the girl child, speak for the girl child in relation to protecting the future of things and say, how is our law? Wait, I'm not going to interject. But I'm not going to interject. So it actually disturbs me to hear, people who are hate-driven instead of solutions, finding solutions. The fact of the matter is, the only person who has to prove beyond doubt on the case, it is the young lady herself, Susan Mutami. And she has put the case in the courts of law in Australia. So those that wish to help her, you need to support her around that. That's what you need to do. There's no one else until the courts of law perhaps calls up upon, I don't know how. But if she's really truly speaking for what she needs to speak for, there's people like Comfort who are saying to themselves, we are the voice of the victim. Take the same court into the Zimbabwe courts, make sense of it. That's how you fight for change if you think there's something there. The position of people just coming into these platforms to politicking and being heard and not contribute anything sensible, it's actually making us really look delusional in many respects. But no one is talking of the Children's Act in Zimbabwe and how we can sanitize it, critique it against maybe what Susan Mutami has actually brought forward, whether it's true, false or not, we don't know. That's why she's put the case to the court of law. But what we have to also look at is our constitution. How is it talking in relation to the girl child and the boy child? That is how we need to be talking. And for those that support the opposition, it's actually appalling for you. You've been given a platform like this by ZimI to actually then tell us all your policies on how you can then say ZANU-PF policies in this regard are like this, like that. ZANU-PF has failed to change this policy and this and that. This is how we're going to see the.
Are we going to do it, Rally, or we are going to speak? No, we are not going to do that. We are speaking to the topic. Can we speak to what we are talking about?
Why ZANU-PF quest forever? I am not ZANU-PF. You ZANU-PF? Are you ZANU-PF?
Yeah. Don't speak on behalf.
Are you speaking on behalf of somebody else, or you are talking on behalf of Njabulo? I am not ZANU-PF.
Yeah, but
are you ZANU-PF?
So why are you saying we should change? Why are you saying we should change? No,
you're not getting it. I am talking like Padare. I'm not a god like most of you. You are gods. You speak like we. I have come here as an I. I am talking and contributing as I, Padare. I am not going to be talking on behalf of the we citizen, because I don't belong to the we citizen. I cannot have the voice of every child in Zimbabwe, but I can make a contribution as an I to the way I see things, to the way I perceive things, and the way I think from my experience on how I can make a positive contribution in finding a peaceful resolution and perhaps provide a solution to what we are fighting for the girl child and the boy child. That is I, Padar. You, if you speak for the we, if you are Njabulo something, I am not ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF is a big system, but I am a supporter of it. I am a member of it, but I cannot speak on behalf of that. You are the same thing here, Njabulo. I don't think you're speaking on behalf of Susan, are you? Because you are not Susan. But we are sharing a story that was brought amongst us by an individual. And we are all making contribution according to our own understanding. But what I cannot do is to give you my raw emotion so that you can batter them. But I want to make a contribution that is progressive to the narrative. So I have said, for I looking at thinking, do we ever get to sit down and we talk about the Children's Act in Zimbabwe? When are we going to do that? What are the lessons learned from this exercise? It's been a week, 2 weeks.
The same act you're talking about, listen, you're saying to people who are speaking here, they're not speaking on behalf of Susan, right? But that same act you're talking about, you're speaking on behalf of those children, isn't it? Isn't the act supposed to speak for those children, the voiceless? Is that not it? So you are contradicting yourself, because if anyone is coming here to speak on behalf of Susan, it's the same thing you're doing when you're mentioning the Children's Act. That act is speaking on behalf of children. There are people who implement the act you're talking about on behalf of those children. So if citizens are going to come here and speak about the issue, they've got the same right to do, and you're actually confusing yourself. The same thing you're telling people not to do is the same thing you're doing right now. If I were you, just put your submission and then children. If the act was so respected by ZANU-PF, they would stop marrying children underage. They would stop that straight away if it truly matters.
Like ZANU-PF marrying people of
what do you mean? They're your supporters. Your supporters are ZANU-PF supporters, and they are. Your president goes to their churches, muchitora nama pictures, my selfie. That is for ZANU-PF people who marry children, who rape children. You are doing this, and you cannot hide away from it.
You're not listening.
No. I'm listening to you, but you're not listening to others. Rather, you like to insult people. Why do you come and insult Randunai Padari? Put your submission without insulting people's contributions. You are insulting citizens who have been putting submissions, saying that they think they're gods. No one is a god, Padare, including yourself, including Idi Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa is not a god, and we are definitely as citizens recognizing the fact that we have the power. Citizens are meant to be representing. ZANU-PF is not a god to Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, the Z in ZANU does not stand for Zimbabwe, okay? So if we're going to speak on behalf of citizens who are being abused, we will do so, and you don't come here and tell us who do we think we are, or why are we using the platform to do so. We are working on the ground to ensure that the environment is conducive. So don't worry. Every citizen, that's the beauty of this movement, Padare. Unlike ZANU-PF, a cult, we actually citizenry that are working together to ensure that citizens' lives are respected and looked after.
Okay, what's the citizen's policy on the girls? Padare, but it's very simple. Susan was around 15 years when she said, "Akambonyikizwa." And that's the then she put a story in the courts of law. So you yes, but you don't bring in other people and I'm saying Mugwadi. And you don't 15 years old. What solution about by telling us this? She said she was 15 years old. Yes, you Yes, Susan, English centered Pagarepo. I was born of a child of impostor. I grew up in that church. You are telling and insulting. That's why you see it normal. That's why you see it.
You always like to divert, but we are tired of your nonsense. With all due respect, it's not trying to divert from the topic. Stick to the topic.
Let me tell you, Adina Jesus. She is not listening. Listen to what he's saying, and you are not listening. You're choosing. Put the case in the court of law. That's what she's going to get from the court of law. We'll support her when the court case goes on. For those that are close to her who are supporting her now, very good. What I'm not going to do is to give you my raw emotion just because you think I should cry because you are crying.
About your emotions. Go and tell your wife about your emotions. Don't tell her that's nonsense. What you always say in spaces. When you come to a space like this, read the room, read the topic. You're speaking to nothing.
The problem you have is you're a fake activist. You see, you failed to sell a government of Zimbabwe 15 computers.
I hope they're paying you enough to be taking this time. I literally think they're paying you now.
Exactly.
Usada kutaka kuchinja mawete wanu.
Next time.
Aiwa, deshe kwake. Mimi manazanu mimi ZANU-PF murukubata ana chibaro. Kada utaura nyaya kubata CPM kadzi ku UK wepadare taitangere nyaya yoyo. Taitangere nyaya yoyo. Because you want to act like you respect women so much. Should we start it?
Saka nyaya dzinodzafuna kutaura ndedzekuti hatune mukana wekutaura pesi but kana tazoona mukana wekutaura tonotaura zvimwe zviri kumashure kukadza pamesina pakutaura papa. Nyaya yaSusan iri simple pakuti zvakaitika nemunhu wake vari 2 handiti kudhara ari mwana mudiki asingazivi achitoda kuchengetwawo handiti but kwakuzenda vamwe kwakuzopinda naTemba ana Musani vachiuya Susan anga akura anga kuita madhiri ake kutsvaka mari handiti and this is very unfortunate kuti ana Mugwadi vanouya vachitauriza naMusani pano paplatform ada kurerutsa munhu mukuru. Musani munhu mukuru anozikamwa ane zvake zvaina zvinozikamwa nerudende nepufo. Hatidi kuti tese tizitaure pano ngabva Musani kana akangwara ngabva anyarara ikuku asi yeSusan apedzera nani nemunhu wake akabata chibharo ndo nyaya iri panapa handiti and chamunofana
Can we have one speaker, please, gentlemen? Can we please have one speaker?
No, you are telling the secrets of this man. You are willing not to talk about them just because you're just scary. You actually that thought you're a secret and you're going to spill it out just because you're weak. You scare me, Zimbabweans.
Why does everything have to be political with you, Padari? Honestly.
Conversation. Policies, Children's Act,
can you arrest your president, please, so that he can be investigated? Can you check his, make sure you pull down his trousers so that we can see Susan about my yellow ties and the sizes and the marks. I mean, that is things that people need to know. What Susan was describing never happened, because Padari, I don't think you've ever seen the thighs of your president there, or the size of it, or the marks. So who are you to start to speak on his behalf and to say that he's never done it? I've never seen it, and I will never want to see it. That's why I will not say Susan Arunyeva. Susan has said this happened to her, so you do not need to come here, Chiti. Munarunyeva Tari say this, Tari say that. Unless you can, then you would defend the way you're defending. Believe a person can actually power and then let it go through the process. Kuna my yellow ties here, kuna the side here, kuna the mark here, and then you know how would Susan know that? How would Susan know this if it never happened? How would she know that detail? That detail is supposed to be for his wife, isn't it? His wife is supposed to know what it looks like down there. But if Susan is describing it, it means something happened.
Is Mnangagwa circumcised? Please is he circumcised? Then what are you talking about? So what are you talking about?
Where you dead, the way you're defending like this. That's why Musango is a mad sling to them. All we are saying to you is do not mad sling her. Let her story be heard. Do not mad sling her. And then let's go through the process, because none of us were there except for one. So where do you come off, Padare, in a ZANU-PF team? You were not there, therefore give the benefit of the doubt. You are telling a court to not benefit of the doubt, give the benefit. But when you come here, you're not doing that. You're not focusing on the issue. You're diverting our attention. Children's Act, but right now we're dealing with an accusation in rape, and this is an individual who has brought it out, and a lot more women are coming out and saying, the same thing happened to me, which means there is a systematic problem in Zimbabwe, Padari, and we cannot run away from it. So none of us are trying to be gods here, but we're just trying to allow citizens the voice to speak.
Which more people are speaking to you, Selani? Which more people are speaking to you?
There have been a lot of women.
We've had Simba and I. We actually have a handful of women, and there are names attached to it.
And what are you doing about them?
We are so actually. What are you doing? I was quiet because I'm actually talking to the UN women. I'm talking to UNESCO. I'm talking to a lot of organizations. Oh, trust you me, we are doing something about it. We're doing something about it.
That's what we should
we're not letting this one go.
That's what you
because it's not okay. In the 21st century, we cannot have
They're not listening.
You're not on my watch. Not on my watch.
is a proper activist for the girl child. You are a voice of reason for the girl child. And I respect you for that because you actually do that and you walk the walk about it. But, you should not be diluted by these political narratives.
Stop minimizing, Padare. Stop minimizing. Stop doing that. Don't do that.
You want to see
Don't
excited about the president being circumcised.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Let's make something clear. Isusu, as for me, I respect office of the president. And this could do Zavagaitaba. Inyayatarwa Nimana, and it should be looked at. And this could have Pomera Mosha in president. And this could have defender. And this was Pasagatika, we're not there. I respect office of the president. To know what make it. And this. But it's only for Naguzan Jikuti. Kanapana Nyayatauriga. Guy, he should try and see how he can clear off himself. Or Kanapana Nyabana. And do about you, if you come here and defend it, it doesn't make any sense.
We are actually finding a solution. How do you think Iwewe, you are saying, how do you think Iwewe, if how do you think the story should be done? Susan has put in the court case. Do you think the president has to put a court case and talk about it? Or she has to wait and put the court and wait until the courts call him? Does he have
Padare, president, why is he not putting a defamation case before for the court for Susan?
Yes,
why are people running to defend President Idi Mnangagwa? Everyone was not there. This President Mnangagwa when she was 15. So who are you to come here and say and you know what you have no right argue and have the right to anyone who comes here.
There's somebody telling you to speak and you exactly know what you're speaking about is wrong. What you're standing for is wrong. But you are being paid to come here and speak and make unnecessary. I mean, you paid to speak.
My brothers.
Make accusations.
Order. You know, what I would hate to happen here on this platform would be for us to lose sight of why we are really here. And I've said this over and over again. The depth of our being polarized makes us lose sight of the matter at hand. This is bigger than Susan Mutami. This is the 12, 13, 14, 15 women who have come forward with names. And I have a list of names, okay? And to add on to that, I actually have some of the young women letting me know that their families have been visited. Yeah, UK family. So this is happening in current present time. I really want us to focus.
You cannot. If you let me just step in as well, if you don't mind.
If you let me finish. I really want us to focus on the matter. The subject matter is there is a pattern, there is a smell, and we're figuring out what that smell is. We have the sexual abuse of minors by those in power in our country. It's an astronomical problem. And I am seeing that we're having a lot of reports. I'm going through my office. In Zimbabwe, we're also seeing a pandemic of teenagers being pregnant, and we have normalized it. So this is bigger than Susan. This is bigger than Tafadzwa Mugwadi coming here. This is bigger than the president of the Republic of Zimbabwe, and I also respect the office of the president. Having said that, we have an issue, and so I don't want to water this down to arguments about ZANU or CCC. This is about the violation of the girl child, and I really want us to focus on that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to get into, Comfort. Thanks.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So, but please, just give others a chance, please. We don't want to keep on perpetuating the desensitization of this crisis in Zimbabwe. This thing has been happening for a long time. We've been desensitized. The minister Munwo, all this stuff, all those cartoon drawings, my minister Chingo Gamari, say, all these things, cults coming from Marange, all this stuff has been coming up. And this is why that space Agetika last week had so many people listening in, because people are not concerned primarily over what Susan is or who she is. It's about what she's raising. And we don't want to wait until I affect our Mazeru, because we are now living in a 4G digital age. We can speak about these things. We are engaging with everyone so that we can discuss. But we can't continue suffering in silence or defending people. Why are they quiet? Because Nyaya is touching so many people in our society.
Thank you on that. Thank you so much.
This is Comfort. You know, the other thing that is becoming more dangerous is they themselves, as a political party, they are not coming out to protect themselves by doing a due diligence. They are just mudslinging. They haven't done any internal investigation to find out if this thing, what people are saying, is real. Because they might, in actual fact, cleanse themselves from this thing, and they might even uncover more things. Because, guys, in Zimbabwe, rape is becoming a pandemic. Right now, we're at a rate of 22 women being raped that actually go and report that are known that they've been raped. It's 22 on average per day. And we don't know those that have decided to be quiet and those that have been intimidated. And this breakthrough, what people don't realize, it is if it goes forward, it's going to cleanse. Even most people think, no, this is a ZANU thing. You might get there and be shocked that CCC, you have a lot of people that have been intimidated and they have not even stepped forward because they see that the people that are standing up against have more political power than themselves. Comfort, have raised issues of intimidation, families being intimidated. We are dealing with even CEOs of companies that know that they have money, they are able to buy their way out of these issues. And in Susan rising up, it is also pulling up the standard for us as Zimbabweans to start looking inward into ourselves to say, really, if someone like Susan can stand up and point at a president, what more? How many people have been quiet and that have died with being victims of rape, that have suffered in silence and they were not able to find help? And the ZANU-PF should have distanced itself to say, no, if he has done it, we'll crucify him, we'll nail him for that. Because I believe Mnangagwa is not bigger than ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF is the actual fact bigger than him. And they themselves, they should be running.
The president of the country, you just call him Mnangagwa and you think people are going to respect your voice. Mnangagwa this, Mnangagwa that, Mnangagwa this. What the hell are you, Jabulo? You have to respect people even if you don't like them.
Respect them how? But I thought Mnangagwa was his surname. Does he have another one?
Well, Jabulo, kuna vana vadiki vatoreswa vana vadiki vamwe vanogona kunge vakabatwa zvibharo nevamwe. Pane vari mumakurutivi vakafa vari mumawheelchair vasina kumbobvira vakwanisa kutaura nekutya zvakaitika kwavari muupenyu hwavo kuti vanga vaite pai pawheelchair. Saka what of the girl child vanotaura mind you unofanira kuziva kuti for zvaitika zvese machef ese kaya anogara aine secret service aine maCIO ndovanovachengetedza ndizvo. Saka for Susan to go Maseko's esa Say where is Zama Famberat, and these guys were being advised. And they went to Banguraji, Kageriku Kwashif, those services, Bamaka Pina Munetiro, and Ruza, those are Kalabat. And they give us advice. Zakawanda, Sakapana Namdas, Zakapana Idis, Chamisa, because Susan Neva, and then they good to eat their those get to quick which I eat. It's not a surprise. I stand hard, and for the record, you should know what. Unano dila mkuru kanango pizza baringa pizza anu Sarah Susan was dubbed to other people akana nemokwe wangu anatemba Mliswa yakuya panapa vangunyadza mana. I was very disappointed na temba Mliswa. I used to like him akaanza kudemonstrate anofamba nema instruments nema apparatus umumbwe ifobatisa wakadziso kuti aite chimombo MP. They are trying to defend, personally defending, and let ED defend himself. Atisi kuti zvinhu zvakaita. Musali arikuunzwa neuku ane zvake zvakaita zvinozikanwa nevanhu. Vanhu vanenge vachiona paunoita. Vanomunza pana panoandreswa munhu mukuru anoremekedzeka. Ekuona ana Mugwadi, don't come here to draw wakuru into these simple issues, silly issues. Unovarerutsa. Hakuna kureza vanhu sei ZANU-PF handizvo. Saka padara anofunga kuti tinovenga majority of the people who vote ma-urban centers, they vote for the opposition. And so if you are going to go by that, wait. If you are going to go by that probability, you would my party this. It means the opposition's door to committing but don't that you're not listening because you want to do propaganda. You don't make decisions. Stop this propaganda. Focus on the story. Because if you are going to go notice party, this party, that all urban areas, opposition. So I was saying that in these areas where these stories are happening, it's all done in opposition. You can't think beyond.
Not finished at this moment. There's no need for you to finish because Samurkutara is really irrelevant.
Is it relevant?
No, it's not relevant.
It is very.
It's not relevant because gender-based violence, gender-based violence,
you cannot tell me it's not irrelevant when you're telling people rape people. You think that is relevant?
Anyway, Padare, let her speak, please.
That's relevant to say that people rape people.
Yes.
What I'm saying
is, I want us to show you the proof, Padare.
Our children at home.
Do you want us to show you the proof?
Nothing to do with political party.
No, hold on, Padare. Do you want us to show you?
What you are saying is acknowledging that ZANU-PF has perpetrated rapes and crimes against women. Both of you are acknowledging that. Number two, gender-based violence is non-partisan. Gender-based violence is a reality that we all accept in the society. So if you are accepting kuti minister vanorepa vanhu ndozvavanoita but tinozvifushira pasi and then saying that you said it.
Who said it where?
Anyway, gender-based violence here is that gender-based violence is non-partisan. That's what it is.
Teach you how
international
how to fight for the girl child. All of you.
No. We are fighting for the girl child. We want to fight for the girl child. Hello. I want you to remove people from stage.
Guys, can we reset the room, please? I'm gonna do clubhouse style here. Let's please listen to each other. Let's not talk over each other. Let's also give an opportunity for those who have not spoken to share. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, guys. Comfort, can I suggest you give people the list in which the lineup for how to speak, because otherwise, Padare will keep on interjecting. Please.
Okay, all right. I think I have my sister Aziz sharing, and then joined another brother Chikara. I think he needed to finish off, some of his thoughts, and then we have Brian pick these.
Yeah. Oh, and Emmanuel, sorry, you can be after Brian because I see your hand is up. After Brian, let's have his over. Okay. Thank you.
My order. And the key point that I want to raise is that gender-based violence is non-partisan. It's a pandemic. It can sort of pandemic. So for you to sit there and partially acknowledge the fact that gender-based violence has occurred within the ZANU-PF party and there's nothing that has been happening, yesterday you're highlighting the impunity, yes, which we are talking about. Yesterday I talked about Susan, what you are moving to but I can you give me a chance, please? Can you give me a chance?
If you
Padari, can you give me a chance? No, I don't need to listen to you, fam. I don't need to. I don't need to listen to you.
If you bring me your story,
no, I don't need to listen to you, fam.
Iwewe Padarongo Chitinopinga, the whole 400 of us came to you.
If you lie,
Nyarara man, keep quiet.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you. I have a question for you. Where are you based? Are you in Zimbabwe on the ground?
Just in the UK.
Padari.
You are in America.
What are you talking about?
But
America, but I'm in Zimbabwe every 2 months, every month. And I have stuff. I have a stuff on the ground.
You are not listening. You are asking so the competition of where you fly, how you fly. If
where are you based? Because I want to understand how much time you're on the ground.
You know me. You
I'm on the ground in Abasa.
What you know me by name
is the reality that Zimbabweans are facing. The reality that Zimbabweans are facing is that children are getting married, forced into marriages at underages. Women are losing their babies because of the lack of facilities in the hospitals for them to give birth. So for you to come and say things like, oh, yes, my minister, I don't think we need to hear that. Excuse me, sir.
I never say that.
No.
I never say that. When did we get that from?
Right. Okay, it's fine. We've got time. But if you would let me, finish, if you let me finish my point, then you can retaliate.
You're not listening. You stop lying about me in your submission.
For her to listen to you, can you listen to her? Anditi.
But she did not lie about me.
All right, Padari, we're moving on.
Thank you. Okay, fine. Fair enough. I'm speaking inaccuracies, Auntie. I'm now saying this from my point of view. And from that point of view, I don't expect you to interject me because this is my point of view. So I expect you to keep your mic off while I speak, if you can respect that. Zimbabwean women are at the bottom level, at the hem of the political situation that's going on. And Susan Mutami is one of the few women who's taken a platform and used that platform to give voice to the many women that are suffering. Be it children. We've seen children dying from being pregnant at a young age. Women who've given birth can relate to this story. And that's why I'm so flabbergasted as to why men, the perpetrators of the same violence, have so much voice to speak in this platform, talking about how this woman is lying and how this is inappropriate and that this couldn't be and stuff like that. But the reality is that if you were personally experience a rape case, if you've never been raped in your life, if you've never been abused in your life, or you've never walked the shoes of a person who has a certain trauma and a certain struggle in their lives, then who are you to speak and say this is hearsay? And I think we as Zimbabweans have realized that people who are affiliated don't actually care at the end of the day if this is happening to their family, close members or not, as long as they're safe. So we can't even use that example anymore. So I'm tired of using that example. But the reality is that women are being abused, women are being taken advantage of, exploited, and all sorts of things. And the minute we get a platform to talk about that, we have this explosion. It's really an explosion of people having voice, people having something to say over things only because you want to silence us. But Taneta, guys, we're so tired of it. It's so old. Everything you're saying is tired. Putting political affiliations, gender-based violence, if you go and you actually look at it and you study it, you will learn that gender-based violence is got nothing to do with sex. It's got everything to do with power. And people in positions of power have got that ability to exploit vulnerable individuals. And this is exactly what has happened. But all these ministers' names, I couldn't care less about the ministers' names that were dropped. But the reality of the fact of the matter, in essence, is that we are being abused and exploited. And we are tired of it. And we are trying to take a stance from it. And if you're not ready for that, go back home, do your research, find another approach. Okay, do something else. Better you beat people up. I'm not saying it's better, but find another approach than to come with inadequate, you don't even prepare yourself to come to a platform like this to talk about the real issues. You don't go any propaganda. You don't know my Bible verse. Bible verses from some kind of something just stuff that is irrelevant, and it's so upsetting. It's so upsetting to hear. But I think this space is really good for us to bring out these issues. And personally, as a Zimbabwean, I'm tired. I'm tired of watching so many issues just go down the waistline, just go buried and stuff like that. But in essence, please, guys, come better prepared as a party. Come better prepared. Have your facts. If you thought going to due diligence, it ain't due diligence in you make a most of we are to data